Hi, students. This is Dr. Henry. Listen, I'm going to walk you through the instructions for the review essay. I'm going to read the instructions and make some comments about them. So before you begin to watch the video, you might want to get some paper and a pen so that you can take notes. Of course, you can just watch the video again to get this information. So I'm just going to read it to you, and then I'm going to give you some instructions as well. I'm going to give you a few definitions that you'll need to know, and then some additional comments about the review essay. So let me just start out here at the beginning. You're getting ready to write a review essay. So that is an evaluative essay. This is something that you do all the time. You evaluate the type of cars that you like. You evaluate television shows that you like. So you do this all the time. What I'm teaching you how to do is how to formally evaluate something in writing so that when you're on the job, you're in your career, you'll be able to do this. Also, I wanted to make it fun for you. So the evaluative essay that we're going to do is a review essay. We're just going to review a movie. And remember that I said you don't have to review a new movie. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to review a new movie. You can review one that you've seen before. So first of all, I want to list for you the type of films that you cannot review. Okay, so these are films that you cannot review. So make sure that you write this down. So the first thing is you cannot review a television series. So no television series on TV. It must be a movie that was seen in a theater or that came on Netflix, Hulu Plus, Amazon Prime, something like that. You also may not review documentaries, so no documentaries. And then finally, you cannot review pornography and 50 Shades of Grey and the sequel to that and Magic Mike and the sequel to that. That's just soft pornography. I do not want to read pornography from my students. So no, you cannot write those. So let me repeat. These are the 4 types of films that you cannot write your review essay on. You cannot write about a television series. You cannot write about a documentary. You cannot write about, oh, I forgot the third one, guys. I hope you wrote that down or review the film. And the other one, of course, is pornography. So I don't want to read about pornography from my students, okay? All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to be here in this section. Write a review of a movie that has made a strong impression on you. It can be a positive or a negative one. Your review should offer a solid opinion that will interest your readers without spoiling their possible future viewing. So by that, I mean, don't give away the good stuff. This is not a summary of a film, it's a review of a film. And so that means that you're basically offering your opinion. You're saying, hey, I saw this film. Why don't you see it and tell me what you think of it? So you're not giving away the good stuff. Now, I'm going to repeat that because invariably, one or two of you are going to tell me exactly what happened in the film and you're going to give away the good stuff. But I don't want you to give away the good stuff. So I'm going to repeat that. Okay, so let's follow these steps. Now, everybody remember that I'm not asking you to write this entire essay all at once. You know that I'm going to go over all of the instructions and then I am going to require you to write one piece at a time, just like we did with the profile. So to write a review, follow these steps. Create a good introduction. You want your readers to be interested in what you have to say. Grab her in your introductory paragraph in one of several ways. And so here I'm giving you 3 different ways that you can introduce your paper. So I'm going to color code those so that you'll know that these are different ways of introducing. So the first one is you can start with a great quote from the movie and explain how it reflects the movie. So for example, you could say, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Now, that's a line from the movie Forrest Gump. And so you would take that quote and you would say, this is a quote spoken by the titular character's mother explaining to him the unpredictability of life. And that's exactly how the movie Forrest Gump unfolds. So you see there, it's important that you give the quote, but also explain how the quote reflects the movie. Don't just give a quote and just drop it there. So that's one way that you can introduce your paper. Here's another one. So I'm going to color code that as well. I'm going to put that in green. And so here you could refer to the reputation of the actor or director and compare it to how he or she did in this movie. So you might say, we're used to seeing Chris Rock in comedies, but in this film, he takes on a dramatic role. Surprisingly, he does a great job as blah, blah, blah. So there you're taking the reputation of the actor and saying that it's quite different from what he usually does. You could also refer to a director. So you might say, in this new film by Quentin Tarantino, he does the same sort of things that he does in his previous films. And you can list whatever those previous things are. So that's a way of introducing a film. And then this last one is compare this movie to another well-known film in a few sentences or two. So you might say that maybe it's a Disney movie. So you might say that this Disney movie is hang on a second, students. I don't think this is recording. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Okay, guys, y'all probably heard me pause there. I was checking to see if I was actually recording. So this last one, you can compare this movie to another well-known film in a few sentences. And so you might say something along these lines. If you like Shutter Island, you'll love X. And so it could be a film that's similar to that. So that's three different ways that you can introduce your papers. Now, keep it in mind, you don't have to use what I have given you here. I just like to provide you with examples so that you don't have to work too hard to come up with ways to introduce your paper, because we all know that introductions are difficult. And so here's his one reminder. Remember to include the complete title of the movie in the first sentence or two so the reader knows which movie you are discussing. And you'll be surprised at how many students forget to actually say the name of the movie in the introduction. Okay? All right, let's go on to number 2. Formulate a specific opinion of the movie in one sentence. Ultimately, this may come down to a thumbs up or 3 stars out of 5, but you want to have a specific thesis to drive your critique. For example, I like this comedy because it has hilarious physical humor and a very funny plot. Try to find that very specific opinion that will be the foundation of your critique. Because what you're going to do is you're going to formulate standards based on your thesis. So if you like it for a particular reason, that's going to go into your criteria paragraph, which is going to come later. And that is going to contain the points that you're going to be proving in your body paragraph. So try to find that very specific opinion that will be the foundation of your critique. You're going to end your introduction with your opinion sentence. This will be your thesis. So now that you have your opinion of the movie in mind, you are ready to begin your review. So that's what you're going to do there. And remember, your thesis statement is just one sentence. That's all you get for a thesis statement. Now, I'm going to give you the number of sentences that you are allowed per section for this essay because I want to help you work on concision. So right now, I'm going to give you a definition for concision. So get ready to write this down. So concision, C-O-N-C-I-S-I-O-N. Again, concision, C-O-N-C-I-S-I-O-N. So for number 1, your introduction, I'm going to give you a maximum of 5 sentences. That means that you have to write your introduction in 5 sentences. And then, of course, you get 1 sentence for your thesis statement. So you know that your introduction and your thesis statement form the first paragraph of your paper. And so based on what I've just given you, for that first paragraph, you have no more than 6 sentences, okay? All right. Now, let's move on to your recap. So I've just said that this movie is not a summary. Therefore, you are not going to have a whole lot of room to summarize this film. So that's why your recap paragraph is only going to be 3 sentences. So let me read this information for you. Next, briefly recap the movie, but don't give away anything big. So you're going to include the movie's release date, the director's name, and the names of the lead actors and the characters they play. So everybody remember this. Lead actors, real people. The characters, pretend people, fictional people. So you don't want to get those confused. So you want to give us the name of the lead actors and the characters they play. Now, remember, this is lead actors. So if you're writing about the film Ocean's 11, don't you list 11 names. You're going to list the 11 actors, the ones who would be up for the Academy Awards, the first 4 or so. So remember that when you're listing lead actors, you're listing the actors who are considered the most important, the major players in a film, okay? Now, if you're wondering where to get all this information, look at this website right here, imdb.com. If you go to that website, you will find all of the information that I'm asking you to provide there. And you can get that information for new movies and you can get it for old movies. So if you're reviewing a film that your grandmother told you about, one of those black and white films, you will find the same information there. So you want to go to imdb.com. Okay? All right. Now you should give your reader the basic premise and tell her how the story builds, but don't give away key details, especially not the ending. So, if it's a suspense film, don't say, oh, he gets away, they never catch up with him. Or if it's a courtroom drama, don't say, oh, you think he gets off, but he doesn't, they find him guilty. Or if it's a love story, don't say, oh, you think he's going to go back to his girlfriend, but actually he runs away with her best friend. Those are the kind of details that you don't give away because you want to leave the opportunity for the person who's reading your review to go see the movie herself. So don't give away key moments. Now, I'm going to give you a 1-sentence premise recap of the movie. Remember what I said? Tell how the story builds, right? So listen to me, but this what I'm about to give you in this example is also under content in the model. So you don't have to scramble to write this down. So listen to this. So The Judge is a courtroom drama starring Robert Downey Jr. as a big-time lawyer who must return to his small town to defend his father, played by Robert Duvall, against the charge of murder. Now, you know a great deal about that movie from what I just said, right? And if you didn't catch it, you can go to the content link, look under the models, and you'll find there for the review, you'll find the example of the recap that I just gave. So you know what genre that film is, you know the characters, you know the actors, and you know how that film unfolds. You know that it's a courtroom drama about a murder trial, but you don't know any of the big details or the outcome. That is what your recap is supposed to do. And I just gave that to you in 1 sentence. So that's what you're going to have to do. So for number 3, that's a section here, you have 3 sentences. So that means that you have to give the movie's release date, the director's name,